So the first thing I want to say is that we're going to have this Smalltalk conference this year again here in Buenos Aires. Everybody is invited. I think we're going to have fun, a lot of fun, I hope. It's in November 9th to November 11th, 3 days, and then the weekend. Okay.
and you eat a lot of meat down there, I recall, because when I went, but you eat it all at least, so that's good.
And we're going rowing again.
Nice.
if the weather helps us. And it's going to be in Buenos Aires this time, because years ago we went through different cities in Argentina. This time it's going to be in Buenos Aires, so it is easier to fly here. So what I wanted to show you is what a student of mine implemented for his master's thesis. He implemented two refactorings: the inline variable and the inline method. The inline method is the opposite of the struct method. And one of the problems we usually have with the inline method in a dynamically typed environment is that it is not easy to look for the implementers that you want to inline, and also, for senders, where are the senders that you want to inline. So, for example, here I have the message to inline without LiveTyping. That I'm going to inline, okay? And this message is being sent in 4 different places. 2 places here in this method. As you can see, the type of the receiver is completely different. In this case, the type of the receiver is inline method example. And in this case, the type of the receiver is a string. And the same thing here. The type of the receiver is inline method example, and here is inline method example 2. So if we do an inline method from here, you can inline only this message send. But what usually happens is that you want to inline all the message sends. And if you do it, I'm going to select that I don't want to remove the implementer. And if you do it without using LiveTyping, then you have to select the scope of the refactoring. I'm going to select class. And when you do that, it looks for all the implementers and the senders. There is one implementer in this case, and all the senders. And here you have to remove the senders that you don't want to be inlined. And the problem with that is that you have to do it by hand. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say just refactor all these. And as you will see, the method is going to be inline. And I didn't show the implementer. The implementer is 10 factorial. So as you can see, it's inlining all the message sends of that message, no matter the receiver, okay, of that message. So as this is not a real refactoring, okay, because the result of the execution is going to be different as before. Well, with LiveTyping, the good thing about it is that we have actual senders and actual implementers. So if I look for implementers of, senders of this message, I'm going to look for implementers first. You will see there are 2 implementers, one in inline method example and another one in method example 2. And there are 4 senders, 2 in this method, and 2 in this other method. Okay, but the good thing about this, with LiveTyping, the good thing is that the receiver, the type of the receiver is different. So if I look now for actual implementers, we're going to see there is 1, okay, instead of 2. And also if we look for actual senders, we're going to see there are only 2 senders and not 4. And remember that with LiveTyping, the idea of senders is not only the method, but the message sent. So as you can see here, there are 2, in a common Smalltalk way of thinking, the sender is this method, but with LiveTyping, the real sender is this message send, okay? And the same here. Even though we have another message send with the same selector, but to a different receiver with a different type. So now with this possibility of filtering the implementers and the senders with LiveTyping, if I do an inline method, and I say I want to select message sends to inline, all the message sends to inline, and I want to remove the implementer, and I'm going to select now actual scope. Actual scope is when LiveTyping comes into play. You will see that shows just one implementer, not two, and it also shows only the two senders that are, the correct senders because of the type of the receiver. Okay, so if I just refactor, now the difference is that it only inlines in the message sends where the actual type of the receiver was correct. Okay, so that's that's all I wanted to show you, how LiveTyping helps when doing refactorings. It's like working with a statically typed language almost. Like I'm very happy with this refactoring because it's like working with IntelliJ, but with quiz. So that's very nice. That's is there any question?
I have a question, yes.
Yeah.
So for LiveTyping, so you get the types from running as units or something like that. Mm-hmm. Can you actually, or have you thought about when running a production image, getting like collect all the types, put it on a side, and then retrofit that to a development image so you can get a more representative?
Yeah. So the first thing is that the types are collected all the time, not only when you run the test, but when the system is running. The LiveTyping doesn't make any difference of if you're running tests or you're running any kind of code, because that's part of the VM. There's no difference between tests or not. So it's collecting types all the time. And yeah, I thought about it. I didn't implement anything special, to it, but you could use the LiveTyping VM in production, collect types, and then you can use that image or export the type information and then import it to a development environment image. I haven't done it, but it's completely possible because they're all objects. It's very easy. Could be done.
That sounds good. Yeah, because when you start with a fresh image, you wouldn't have any types.
That's right. And it's very interesting. For example, if you don't have tests in your development environment, then how do you know the type of your system if you have to run it? So you could collect the types from production and fit that in the development environment and use it. And that's a very cool idea.
So Hernán, I am interested in the, let's say, pedagogical consequences of using small tool in general and metasystems small tool in particular and metasystems in general. So in the case of, I know that you have Quiz University and you are developing this really interesting stuff like this vector resizable image and stuff like this. How do you see the, let's say, pedagogical consequences of this? By having these kind of features inside Quiz, how the learning process is affected?
Well, that's an interesting question. I use Quiz University for teaching software engineering 1 at the University of Buenos Aires. There are other 3 or 4 places where it's being used also. And okay, having LiveTyping as part of the environment is really helpful. because people that has experience with the statically typed languages, they see that the tools that they can use with University, with LiveTyping are very similar with the tools they use with IntelliJ or any other kind of IDE. For example, the auto-completion is very good. It works very well with LiveTyping. The refactorings are almost as similar, or the results are very similar to what you can do in, as I said, IntelliJ or Eclipse or those kind of IDEs. And it's something that came to my mind is the last semester. It ended three weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. One of the suggestions of the students was to teach them the automatic refactorings before in the class, and not as the last thing that we do, because we have a special exercise about refactor existing code, a legacy system, and to refactor that to be able to test first, and then being able to do TDD on that code. It's like a 4 iterations exercise, and they loved how they could use the automatic refactorings with the LiveTyping information to change the design of the code. And as I said, one of the suggestions from the students was we want to know that before, because that's very helpful in the exams and in all the exercises that we have to do. Yeah, that's regarding LiveTyping. And regarding Smalltalk, I know that you didn't ask that specifically, but I think it's the students at the beginning complain because, oh, why do I have to learn Smalltalk? Nobody uses it, and so on. But at the end of the semester, they love it, and they say they are really happy about what they could learn and all the possibilities that they have with a meta-circular system. For example, one of the things I do is, if the student make a change to the system, they earn a 1 point in the final note, in the final, note?
Mark.
Final qualification, yeah, whatever, score. And it's interesting to see the things that they do. Sometimes they make improve, small changes to refactorings, or for example, one of the guy this semester did something that saves every, any number of seconds, not the image, but the category that you're using, because that's useful for them for the exercises and exam, and those kind of things. And for them, the conclusion is that it's very simple, so simple to do these kind of things that they like it at the end of the semester. It takes like 4 months, but
Cool, very cool.
Just a little comment is that because I teach Smalltalk to non-programmers, I go directly to love. I don't start with this. This is not like the stuff that we are used to using, I don't know, IntelliJ or or whatever. It's just most of the time directly to love. There is no preconception, so it's nice
cool.
to hear that.
Yeah. Cool.
Remind us the status of LiveTyping in other Smalltalks. I remember you did a presentation a year ago.
Yes. Yeah, sadly it's moving very slow. But I have a student that is doing his master's thesis on the implementing LiveTyping on the JIT VM, because currently the VM is the stack VM without JIT.
Right.
So he's working on that, and he's a very smart guy. He's doing very well, and I think in maybe in a month we will have a better version of the VM, the JIT VM with LiveTyping. Regarding moving it to Faro, I started before the pandemic when I went to UKSTUG 2019, but sadly with the pandemic and all those things, we couldn't move. I didn't have time, and we are not doing anything with Faro or Squeak. No. it would be a nice idea, but yeah, sadly I don't have time to do it.
So we need to find someone that's got that energy to
take
that's right. what you've done and implement it, because it looks cool. Yeah. I'd love it. I'd love to have that. Yeah, it's very cool when you get used to it. If you don't have it, you will miss it a lot. Yeah.
What's the most difficult part, the VM or all the changes in the image? Or
it's not really difficult. The VM is
more effort than.
Yeah, it's more in the image, side of the VM. The VM is the changes I made for the stack VM. For the stack VM, there were like 10 or 15 methods, no more than that. It's very simple. The difficult part with the Faro image was the bootstrap, because adding an instance variable to class description made Faro to enter into an infinite loop. So we had to bootstrap the Faro image with a different script. We did that, but then you have to implement everything on the image side. Yeah.
I think you discussed a lot of this in the record. We must have a recording of your presentation from a while ago. So
yeah,
if anyone is interested, you can refer back to that.